All right, we are back for Roundtable Ravens, episode number 22. This is our big draft recap. Buddy's back with us. He was not there for the first round to discuss everything that happened, which is that grand one pick. But it's okay because we're going to talk about all of that. I'm going to quickly go through all of the draft picks, and I'm going to pronounce the number one draft pick's name the correct way because I have not been doing that, so I apologize. I know it's just really hard to say his name the correct way. But anyway, here we go. First round, they had Vega, Ioane. There you go. Offensive guard, Penn State. Round two, Missouri edge, Zion Young. Round three, USC wide receiver, Jacoby Lane. Round four, Indiana wide receiver, Elijah Surratt. SMU tight end, Matthew Hibner in the fourth. In the fifth, we got Duke cornerback Chandler Rivers. In the fifth, we got Alabama tight end Josh Cuevas. Also in the fifth, we had Clemson running back Adam Randall. In the sixth round, finally, we got Michigan State punter Ryan Eckley. Let's go. And then in the seventh round, we got Michigan defensive tackle Rayshawn Benny, Northwestern offensive guard Evan Biernston. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know, but sorry if I didn't. Sure, let's just go with that. We're going to jump right into our surprising picks here. I'm going to just start with this guy because me and Billy are of the same mind. It kind of goes hand in hand. This is actually it's all three of us. I think you put him as a surprise too. So tight end Josh Cuevas was drafted very shortly after, excuse me, Matthew Hibner. In fact, two picks later in the fifth round. I'm confused about this one for multiple reasons because I feel that Matthew Hibner, if you're going to go and take a guy like that in that third round, I believe it is, or was he in the fourth? He was in the fourth, excuse me. Hibner was in the fourth, and you take a tight end in the fifth, and I feel like they have very kind of identical stats, very identical ways of playing. They're both kind of really good fringe pass catchers that are also blocking tight ends. I feel for what the Ravens already have in Mark Andrews and Durham Smythe, that you didn't need two players that do the same exact thing. I know people are maybe going to get mad that I'm saying this, but when you think about it and you think about the deeper needs that the Ravens had, taking two tight ends that are very similar in nature, not it. Not it for me. We're going to talk about this, but I'll just say it. You skip center and you take two tight ends. I don't get it.
Yeah, that was my thing with like, I know you got rid of Likely and Kolar, and so you're like, hey, two holes to fill, but Charlie Kolar was such a bonus player that like he was great, and I'll never discredit him. He did some amazing things while he was at the Ravens, but they were both nice to have, and they weren't necessary. My vision for these two behind Mark Andrews is they're gonna kind of try and replicate what they were doing with Pat Ricard in getting run lanes open for Derrick Henry and Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson. But it was very confusing to me to see them take two tight ends, especially with Jesse Minter being a defensive minded coach. I thought we'd have more, or we would see more defensive picks from the Ravens. So yeah, that was the thing that first had me raising my eyebrows when I was going through these picks. Again, nothing about these guys' talent. Like they're great. I'm sure they can be impact players. But after paying Mark Andrews all that money, I see them having a little bit more purpose because Mark's a bit more of a catching guy. Of course, he does amazing blocks, and they have that special play with him on third down that they do. But yeah, just curious to see where they're going to fit in. I'm not too sure just yet.
Yeah, just additionally too. So the other confusing aspect of the Cuevas pick for me too is he's an undersized tight end that they're potentially going to be using as a fullback or H back, which obviously again, Patrick Ricard is gone as well, so maybe that's going to be the case. But again, like I don't know. I just don't know about this guy. So that's why I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Like
I
what
think
with
Pat
him,
Ricard was a one of a kind of guy, and I think trying to replicate
yeah,
him with anyone is not gonna work out for them. But willing to be wrong.
yeah. Like what made the Ravens so special in terms of their tight end room with Isaiah Likely and with Kolark is that they were different, right? And that they kind of complemented each other because of that. Like obviously Likely was more of the pass catching type, Kolark was more of the blocking type, and then with these two guys, Hibner and Cuevas, they're kind of the same, right? So it's kind of weird in terms of that, and it's like okay, so how are you guys going to incorporate him, especially with Andrews, right? He obviously has a lot of mileage, obviously former Pro Bowler, but like how's that all going to mesh, right? So that one's kind of weird too. And then yes, just in terms of like the lack of defensive players, with their first seven picks, they only used two of them. Uh, they only selected two defensive players, which is kind of weird. Not really the Ravens' MO there. So yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have, instead of drafting Cuevas, they could have used maybe another defender. I mean, they did get after Hibner, they got Rivers, and then they go back to tight end. Maybe I mean, I know. Sorry, James. What's his name? Neck injury.
Oh,
Might be
Namdi
okay.
Madubuike. Yeah.
Adebuke, I know he's projected to play, and that's great. That's awesome news. I just feel like you could never have enough depth, especially on the edge, right? So I mean, I'm not really sure off the top of my head who was available on the board as well. So maybe that could have played a factor too. But yeah, it was just really weird how they went tight end right after going defense too. So yeah, that one's yeah. Just from that standpoint, and in terms of being the same kind of tight end as Hibner, that's kind of a little iffy, little head scratching there.
All right. Anyway, we'll talk about this in a minute because there's a little bit of breaking news for the Ravens, but we'll get into that one in just in a second.
Oh,
Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. It's
is
connected to
it?
it's connected to Diego in a way. So,
Oh,
all
right,
right.
right, right. Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I'll let you guys jump into this next one because he wasn't part of my surprising picks, but you guys are of the same mind. But you guys had you take umbrage a little bit with the Ravens bringing in Randall, running back. Um, Adam Randall in the fifth round. So take it away.
No umbrage, no disgust, no hate, just interest. Because just putting it out there. Don't come for me, Ravens fans. Mine was actually for a completely different reason. Was because he was the first ever Raven to be picked by team owner Steve Bisciotti.
yeah.
He is the first guy that he ever came in and made a pick. I think he was just saying that he would like to make a pick, and they were like, okay, you can in the fifth round. And this is the guy he chose.
Oh,
But because he's a running back, that obviously just has me raise my eyebrows a little bit because Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, Lamar Jackson, it never hurts. And and Ali is still on the roster. So I know that he's more of a returner nowadays, but yeah, that was it for me. More than his talent or skill. I was just like, there's not really an immediate need there. What does Bashotti see in him that maybe we're not seeing or not needing, feeling like the Ravens need because of Derrick Henry being right there. I think anytime they've picked a running back since then, it's just a bit of a like, well, that's not an issue. That's not something you should deal with. And you just let Keaton Mitchell walk out the building, who was a great addition in that run room. He never ever don't you shake your head at me because they never ever 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 gave that kid the chance to show off his potential. He was incredible before his injury. So yeah, no, not like a confusion in the sense of like, oh, why did they do that? It was more just like, oh, Steve Bisciotti made a pick for the first time in his ownership. What's that guy? So I'm curious to see him in preseason and see how that works out.
Sure. No, yeah. Obviously, Derrick Henry is RB1 until otherwise, right? Yeah, you have Justin Hill and then Ali there too. Yeah, it wasn't really like, ew, I don't like that pick or anything like that. It was never anything like that. There's certainly things he could bring. I mean, he could be a third down specialist. Maybe more. They'll probably use him more possibly in the punt returning game, right? So
Yeah, that's what I
he has
think too.
yeah, maybe he has a role there. But yeah, just I mean, when you select a running back, obviously your depth helps, right? But they kind of already have that with three. But who knows how season plays out or whatnot? It was just more of, they selected a running back. That was a little, it's a little odd. But maybe first couple years or so, uh, maybe use them more on the punt return, kick return, and then I mean, Derrick Henry's what 31 now too, so we'll see how long he has left. But
Don't chaperone him out the building just yet.
nah, yeah, right, right. I mean, he certainly finished the season strong. So he certainly has a lot left in the tank. And but yeah, I mean, it's always exciting to see a young running back come in, and we'll see how he does your training camp, preseason, right? He's gonna get a lot of reps there, and if he could kind of carve himself out, then that'll be great. But yeah, that's That's about it.
Great guys to learn behind too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I will. We will take no Derrick Henry age slander here. That dude is crazy, and he's going to continue to be crazy for I think multiple more years. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I totally forgot that, Billy, and I'm glad you brought it up. But yeah, this is Steve Bisciotti's pick. So it's like, all right, you don't really get involved. What drew you to get this guy? And he better damn well be good because like that.
Randall is sweating because he's like, "What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you
Me,
mean?
the
Yeah, yeah.
chosen one?"
It's like he's like shit. The owner? Oh God, what do I do?
He's like, "Derrick Henry, quick, give me that meal plan immediately."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm gonna quickly go into the surprising one. I'm just gonna mention it, and then we'll go into my last surprising, which is one of you guys' impact players. But the only reason why I put this guy on there, he's a seventh round pick. He was the last pick. He's a guard. The Evan Biersten pick. 25. He's one of the oldest players that they drafted. One of the oldest players in the draft. Very old prospect. I know that players are now staying in college due to NIL and all that good stuff. I don't know. I don't know his background on that front, but being 25 and being a seventh round pick and a guard, again, we'll talk a little bit more about this shortly. But the fact that you still didn't address the center position, even in that seventh round, you could have got a developmental center. You went and got a guard. It's just very confusing to me. I don't know what the hell the Ravens are doing. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to briefly mention that. If you guys have something to say about it, go for it. But I just
Yeah.
don't. I'm confused because from what I'm seeing and from what he's been reported as, he does not have a lot of intangibles that will make him pro ready, even in multiple years. And not saying that any seventh round pick is supposed to be that. We know for a fact that a lot of times the later rounds have a lot of ground to make up to make the 53-man roster, to be on the practice squad and all that good stuff. And so I'm not going to like harp too much on it, but I still just don't understand the need to go and get a guard and not get a center.
Because they got him. They're making Vega go in the center. I'm telling you now.
So I think so too.
All right. Well, that'll be part of our
We'll get
next
to that.
we'll get to that. I don't, but we'll get to that. All right. So this is my last surprising pick. You guys think he's going to be an immediate impact. I'm going to say maybe you're a little biased, buddy, because of when we used to cover USC. I'm just going to throw that out there. But anyway, I'll just say this. Jacoby Lane. I thought that was a very surprising pick. You guys think he's going to be immediate impact pick. I think this is going back to kind of the receiver pool and who was available at that time. They could have had Chris Brazel. They could have had a couple other guys there that were way highly rated. But again, we're talking apples and oranges. We don't know who's going to be what. But they took Jacoby Lane there in that third round at number, I forgot, but in the third round. And like I said, there was other receivers that were
80.
80.
80. Thank you. He was number 80 overall. And yeah, look, he could be that guy. He could be fantastic. I don't know yet. He was rated to be like around a fifth round pick. 745 yards, 4 touchdowns in 2025, 525 yards and 12 touchdowns, 2024. I mean, he does have a huge frame. He's 6'4", is over 200 pounds. I think he needs to get stronger. I think he has a good catch radius. I think that's obviously why the Ravens were looking at him and wanted to take him at that spot. So I get it. But for me, I just think at that round, again, this is just going back to deeper needs. I think they could have got somebody else defensive wise, again, center wise. They skipped over Sam Heck. They skipped over Connor Liu, I believe, was still available at that time. I believe he was. Those are two centers I thought they were going to go for. They didn't. They went Jacoby Lane. They went and got a player I'll talk about here in a second, Surratt. But you guys go ahead. You can talk about why I'm wrong. Go for it.
Eric DeCosta can't catch a break. They say stop drafting small receivers. So he says, here's your 6-foot guy with the biggest hands. Not good enough for anyone, is it? No, look, I got a good feeling about him. I watched his tape. I saw those 2 crazy one-handed catches and I was like, say no more. Say less. That's all I need to see. Because Zay Flowers is right there. Zay's not going anywhere. Zay is still going to be the number 1 guy. I think my vision for him, or the vision that I see them utilizing him in, is in that red zone offense situation. I think that that's where he's going to be most effective. It's not surprising to me because he was mentored by Todd Heap while he was in high school, I think. So, that's Ravens connection. They keep it in the family over there in Baltimore. Um, yeah, fast guy, tall guy, big hands. This is what Ravens fans have been begging Eric DaCosta for. So I don't want to hear any mean things about him.
Not saying anything mean. I'm just saying.
Also, I saw his reaction to being drafted. He was super excited. His attitude was great. He was saying, send me the playbook immediately. Love that work ethic. And I think that's the guy who's hungry for it. And I think that there's going to be, you got Zay Flowers right there. You got Lamar Jackson. Like, those are guys who can elevate your game, even if you're not deliver or haven't delivered the best in James's size. There were better guys out there for the Ravens, apparently. So, look, I'm willing to be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, this guy he played at USC. I'm from Los Angeles, so I've seen this guy up close and personal. And honestly, before the 2025 season, I felt like Lane was a better prospect than Lemon because of the size, because of his hands, because of what he could do in the end zone in particular, right? Like Lemon's only 5'10", maybe 5'11". Lane's 6'4". This dude's a huge guy. So because of that, I was like, okay, you know, this guy could really be wide receiver one at USC, and then Lemon just goes crazy, right? But I mean, that doesn't take away anything. Like Lane could still be that person, and I feel like he lands in the perfect place in Baltimore, especially with the type of receiver that Zay Flowers is, right? Zay Flowers is more of the size of Lemon, and obviously he provides that quickness, that speed, that versatility, and with Lane, I feel like they could use him a lot more in the red zone, right? Because of those big hands, because of his frame as well. I feel like it would be a great target for Lamar Jackson, especially down there, right? Whether you want to switch it up or not. Obviously, yeah, you have Derrick Henry down there, right? So I mean, that's like the ultimate, like go, option one right there. But
You want to tell Todd Monken that? You want to wind it
I'd
back a
be,
little
I would be
bit?
more than happy to tell him that. Um, but yeah, I just feel like he landed in really a great spot because I feel like him, Flowers and Lane could really complement each other well. And I feel like down the field too, if maybe Flowers is not available, Lane could really make some plays out there. And I think this will be certainly Lamar Jackson's kind of favorite new toe to play with, outside of Flowers too, like especially with no likely there. I feel like Lane could come in and really do some damage, especially in the red area.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Again, like we're not saying anything negative about these guys. We're just saying
You
like
are.
we're. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm saying, hey, he might be good. I don't know. I'm just
No,
saying what
no.
I'm.
I see
But
James's point because of like the players who are available, right? Like
Yeah.
you could have filled that hole like that. I totally get. I
yeah.
totally get.
Moving right along because he's one of my impact guys and he's one of the surprise picks for Buddy, which I think this guy's going to be better than Lane in my opinion, especially for the value that the Ravens got him at. He was projected to be a second, third rounder, and they got him all the way down there in that fourth round. That's Elijah Surratt from Indiana. This dude is a baller. 44 touchdowns in 4 years of being a college player. His yardage is crazy. He is also a big body. He's 6'2", like 210 pounds. Yeah, this guy's pretty cool. It's pretty great. I think he's going to be a welcome addition. I think he's going to be the guy that they're probably going to lean on a little bit more in the red zone opportunities. Maybe both of them together with Zay Flowers are going to create a trio that is going to be insane to stop. That would be the hope, obviously, for the Ravens and the offense because in terms of other than Zay Flowers, they haven't really had anybody else that's exploded in a way that they should have been exploding. Obviously, Zay Flowers has been saying that Tez Walker is going to be the guy. That remains to be seen. Rashad Bateman, nobody knows what the hell happened with that guy, but we'll see. But yeah, I think Surratt being there in the fourth round and them patiently waiting to pick him up, I think it was a good value pick. I think he's going to be fantastic. He can score. He can catch the ball. He's put up crazy production. So we'll see. That's my guy there. I think he might be a little bit more Other than Lane, we'll see. I'm just throwing that out there. But Buddy, you can talk about why you were surprised on that one.
You know what? I'm seeing it right now. I actually love this. His nickname is Waffle House.
Full
Yeah, because
House.
it's always open.
Yeah.
That is
Open.
that is so awesome. That is
Yeah, I love that.
that is really great. Um, Surprised, confused in a little way because they just got a guy like that in Lane, right? So it's like why double? But at the same time, you could never have enough depth. You can never have enough targets at the at the wide receiver position in the red zone, right? So, hey, more power to you if you could have two guys like that, right? I'm just that high on Lane, right? I feel like he could be that de facto guy in the red zone whenever they need to throw the ball or whatnot. Adding another, I mean, yeah, sure, why not, right? If these two guys could be a threat there. Just to like, I put this in there because of the similar body types, really, just nothing really against Elijah. Just really more so like, well, you already kind of got a guy like that, so why use another like draft pick on that? But at the same time, what I do like is they went younger here. Usually they go older with the Ravens, right? Like they got Des Bryant when he was older. They got DeAndre Hopkins when he was older, right? Like those type of big body guys. Now they have hopefully two that could be with them for the next handful of years, right? So from that aspect, it's like, okay, you went younger and you got the type of players who you kind of needed all this time to get Lamar Jackson out. So, and from that aspect, that's really good. I'm just kind of doing my USC prospect is better than yours, in a way, like that. Like kind of save some for Lane, but like if Elijah could establish himself too, that would be great for the Ravens in general.
Shout out Waffle House. I'm in it.
Yeah.
That's
Love
that's
it.
By the way, so 2025 was a little bit of a down year, and I think that's maybe why people were kind of a little low on him because his yards after the catch production dropped a lot too. He went from 18 yards per reception to 12, and I get that, but he had
Still 12.
when he was at James Madison, 82 receptions for 1,191 yards, 14 yards per reception, 8 touchdowns. Like the kid's a baller. So I think, again, this could be that trio that we don't even see coming and finally be those receivers that Lamar Jackson, can utilize. Jacoby Lane, red zone. Maybe Surratt's going to be that yards after the carry monster. And then you got Zay Flowers that just go route, just go, so we'll see. We shall see how this all works out. Hopefully, this gives them the kind of receivers that they need. Yeah, doubling up on receivers was a bit strange again because of the clear position that they just ignored that we will get into in a little bit. But let's
And there's
quickly,
Tez and
yeah,
Bateman too, and obviously Hopkins is, I'm going to assume now, not coming back. So a lot of competition in that receiver room for the first time in a while.
yeah. But I mean, iron sharpens iron, and they need Bateman. They're giving Bateman another chance, presumably the flash chance that he's going to get to make an impact or buy. And now you got your younger counterparts. If you don't play better, they're going to take your position. So I love drafts for that reason because these younger guys are coming in, they're hungrier, they have to prove themselves, and that elevates everybody around them to be better. Otherwise, you're not going to have that same position. So maybe the addition of these guys bringing in will make Tez Walker, will make Rashad Bateman level up their game, and then they're going to have a crazy amount of receivers that they can just utilize in different looks to be better offensively because they have been lacking in that department, as we know, for multiple years. But moving right along to our last two impact players, which we all agree on, I believe. Oh, no, wait. Let's go into actually your impact player. Your special teams impact player. Go for it, Billy.
Eckley, welcome to the team.
Eckley.
Welcome to the team, my guy. Day one, number one. You ain't got no competition, so you better get in there and be. I'm saying he's immediate impact because he has no other choice, which is a lot. But if Sam Cook is still in the building, which he was when I'm already forgetting his name. He's gone out the building too.
Jordan Stout.
Stout, I love you. I really do. I really, really respect you. You left Baltimore and you left my heart as well at the same time. Yeah. So, he's an immediate impact because he has no other choice to be. So I love that. And I love that, punters are people too. he was picked up high. He wasn't a final round prospect for them. They obviously see something in him. He may have been round 6 and not round 7, but yeah, simply because he has no other choice.
A special teams can't win you a game, but it can certainly lose you a game.
It
Yeah.
can. It can. We saw
So
it last season.
yeah. So
Just to also like just shout this guy out, but he led the Big Ten with 47.9 yards per punt in 2024, and he also led the FBS with 48.5 yards per punt in 2025. So the kid can kick. They needed a punter. He has no competition right now. Obviously, they're going to see how training camp and all that work out. If he's what his leg is, then that's his job. And I think that's very important. They obviously did need a punter with Jordan Stout leaving like everybody else did. So I think this kid's going to be good. And special teams matters
It does.
a great
Those rules
deal.
are changing all the time, and you need someone who's versatile and who can jump in and get a hold of that. We saw last year how quickly special teams just changed the game. And I believe Sam Cooke is still in the building, and he is the greatest of all time. And so that's someone great to learn underneath. But yeah, Eckley got a little shout out from me because there was no other. You have no other choice.
No, I mean,
No pressure.
It's a
But
good
you have no choice.
Yeah, it's a good impact player to choose because it's like people kind of overlook special teams, and obviously they needed a punter, they got one, and it's funny because like I think it was Jeps Rebick or Jameson Hensley were like, this could be the round that a punter gets taken, and he got taken. I was like, damn, they're pretty good. Yeah, like they know like they're gonna draft a punter, but and that also
It
never.
matters in Baltimore. It's a big part of their history. Sam Cooke really did change, not to bring him up a million times, but well, I think when he retired, he had like 100% pass rate because Harbaugh loved those weird passes where he just had Cooke come in and throw a first down. So, it really does matter in Baltimore. And so I think that they respect it more than other teams do. And it pays off for them.
Absolutely. All right. We have two more people to talk about here, impact wise. One that me and Buddy share, which I'm sure, Billy, you're going to share the same opinion. And then our first round pick, which we will talk about as well, because, of course, why wouldn't we? But first is the Ravens edge player that was drafted in the second round, Mr. Zion Young. This guy, I cannot believe fell to the Ravens. I thought he was going to go way higher. I thought there were several teams that were going to. I even thought the Dolphins were going to take him simply because they needed an edge player. And again, the Ravens They played the board perfectly. They let it come to them. They didn't panic. They didn't move up. They didn't have to give up a lot of draft capital. They stuck to their guns, which is why Vega Ioane fell to them and number 14 as well. And Zion Young fell to them in the second round. I think this is a fantastic pick. I think this guy is going to be insanely good. He's built like an edge player. He has the hands and power like an edge player. 16.5 tackles for loss in 2025, 6.5 sacks. He was talking about like what led to the production going up in his sack count. He said, well, I had to. He said it had to because he's going to be in the NFL. And I think that's an important thing to say, not because it wasn't just because like, oh, well, he didn't, it wasn't like a BS excuse or whatever. Like he was like, hey, like if they're going to take me seriously as an NFL player, I need to produce on the field. But 16.5 tackles for loss is insane because not only not only do the Ravens need edge players, but they need run stopping edge players. And I think that's what Zion Young is. Because let's face it, that is not Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson is a fantastic pass rusher. He can get after the quarterback, but he is not a run stopper. Zion Young is that run-stopping pass rusher. He's a fantastic edge player. I think this is going to be a huge pickup for the Ravens. So, yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I feel like this guy, he may not be like a all pro bowler type of guy, like maybe ever in his career, but I mean, this is the type of depth, this is the type of help that Baltimore needed, and I feel like he could be an X factor, like in a playoff game or just throughout the season, just because of what he provides. Right now at this moment, he provides that rotational help that they desperately need, and just that depth. And I feel like he could do a really really solid job in that. Down the road, I mean, he still has a lot to develop in. For sure. But down the road, I mean, could he be a Pro Bowler? Sure. But I feel like he could just be a really, really solid player where if he's the type of player where like he's doing his job, but like let's say there's an injury that happens and he's not on the field, Like you could be like, oh my God, where's like Zion Young? You know, like I feel like he's like just that type of player where he could just eventually be just kind of like a cornerstone piece in a way to a defense, especially like the Ravens. I really like his upside and what he can be, and just like what he could be just for like 2026 at least. Um, yeah, I honestly really like this pick. Just reading up on him, watching film, and doing all that. I'm like, okay, this is a perfect Ravens type of player. And like you said, James, that could really complement Trey Hendrickson because he's not that type of pass rusher, right? Zion Young is. So I feel like he'll be a great fit with the Ravens and what they provide, and just a perfect complement.
Yeah, I was going to drop him in over Lane, but the only reason I didn't is because in the last two-ish, three-ish years, the defensive prospects haven't always come in and immediately had an impact. I think
Mhm.
because there have been such strong figures on defense like Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith and Marlon Humphrey and Matty BK up until he got injured and Carl Van Noy. It's sometimes harder for those rookie guys to really stand out. Like Mike Green had a great season, Teddy Buchanan had a great season, Malachi Starks great, but that they don't necessarily jump out at you because of everything that's going on around them is so great. But maybe in Minter's regime, that he will end up getting the best out of these defensive rookie players. So I hope he's going to be what you guys say he is.
Yeah, I think the benefit of him is like he is that kind of player that will, like Buddy just brought up, when there's those good players around him, he can elevate that
Yeah.
front. And I think it's gonna work wonders if Matabuke is back on the line, and then you got Travis Jones there, and you got John Jenkins, and he's learning from Tavius Robinson, and you got Roquan Smith. I think he's gonna be in those situations, especially in the run game. I think that's gonna be his main goal is to be that run stopper that the Ravens need as a defensive end, as an edge player, and that's important because you can't have a defense that's allowing the run every which way. So I think that's where he's going to shine. And like you said, buddy, it's not like he's going to be this like all pro Trey Hendrickson like pass rusher, but I think he's going to be that kind of cog that nobody kind of sees coming. That he's going to be on a line with the rest of the Ravens, and he's just going to do wonders, and he's going to be really great in that function. But we'll see.
Well, Minter did say he sees a versatility in him that he can get him in different spots at different times. So I see that
Yeah.
being the case.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last impact player, which obviously might be an obvious one for everybody because he was a first round pick and he's a guard, and you guys have a different prediction for him. That's not what I shared, but anyway, that's Mr. Venga Ioane, number 14 overall guard. Versatility is a big factor here. I think that the Ravens are going to kind of move him up and down the line, not in the center position. I know that's what you guys feel, but I'll just say how I feel about it. But I think they're going to be able to get the best line with Vega there because he's going to be able to either be that left guard, that right guard, or potentially even go in a tackle position too. We don't quite know yet. I know there's a lot of questions on the Ravens line right now with John Simpson, with Danny Pinter, with Jovan Gwynn, Corey Bullock. They have all those guys, but I think they're still going to be bringing in some center prospects. There's still Ethan Pocic that's available. I highly think they're going to bring him in. They should. But I just think for what they have, I think he's going to be that he's going to be that X factor for sure on the line. I think he has the ability to be an anchor wherever they put him at. And I'm really excited to see how he plays. He again, when we're bringing up the run game, not stopping the run but bolstering the run game, he has the ability to be that really good pile pusher that's going to help Derrick Henry and whoever else is going to be there as well running, and then Lamar Jackson as well. But yeah, I just think he's going to be fantastic. He was the consensus top guard for a reason. They have a vacant guard position right there on the right side. Daniel Falale is now gone, went to the Giants like everybody else. So, good riddance. No offense, sorry, but, he was not the best. Even Andrew Voorhees struggled. So I think bringing in a player like this is really important. And again, I think he's going to be an anchor, and I think he's going to be a really good player that's going to move up and down the line in a really important way.
Yeah, agreed. He's a day one star. He's been brought in to make a change on the O line. We spoke about his stats and his discipline in the last episode about, not getting penalties and not allowing sacks. So I think that is 100% obviously the first person I said when we spoke about immediate impact. And as for the center situation, it's not necessarily that I think he's going to end up there, but I do think he is going to be repped. He's going to have to go through those reps in camp, and they're going to see it. And I really think it's just going to be a situation of moving everyone up and down that line, seeing where they fit, seeing who has the best impact there. And it's really just going to be whoever ends up being the best at center is going to get put there. But I definitely think he's going to be tested on it. And I would be surprised if we don't see him at least test out the position. And I don't see why he can't. I think that the plan was when they had Spencer Fano before Todd Monken took him. I think that that was the plan. And so they're probably now going to have to rethink the plan a little bit and see what happens. But I really just see it as they're going to be moving everyone around and seeing what's the best fit for Lamar and who's Lamar got chemistry with, you know. That's his guy. So that it really matters for him too. With so many new faces on the line, he's really going to have to build up that trust.
Yeah, I think you'll certainly be doing him a disservice if you just leave him at one certain spot, right? Because that's what makes him so great, is his versatility. If it happens to be at the center position, sure. Because obviously that's a dire need for the Ravens. But obviously he's traditionally a guard, and the Ravens struggled at guard. They ranked first in that position in 2024, and last year they ranked 16th. So clearly that was a need, and that was a want too. But yeah, with Ioane, due to his versatility and whatnot, they are going to be lining him up anywhere they can during training camp. If his best position happens to be center, that'll be great. If not, then yeah, James. I mean, I'm with you in terms of the types of player they're gonna plug in, and they're gonna move the line around, which is not really ideal, especially for a team gunning for a Super Bowl, or at least a deep playoff run. But it's kind of out of necessity right now. But hey, if there's a guy that could do it, it's certainly Ioane, and what he brings and just what he could do throughout the line. I mean, his NFL comparison is Quentin Nelson, so I mean, like, that's some really, really high regard right there. So if he could be even half of what Nelson is, right, that would be a huge win for the Ravens, and especially for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really feel like he's going to be the starting center, which is why I brought that up. But I certainly think they're going to try him there, as they should with everybody else. I think it's very important to get that line right. They have to do it. I think getting the offensive line kind of is tied to Eric DeCosta's job, as I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying it. If you do not address this offensive line and Lamar Jackson goes down again, you're gone. Period. Period. You're gone, because that's the next X factor of what you have to look at if you're Steve Bisciotti and what went wrong. First, you get rid of John Harbaugh. What's the next person in line? It's got to be Eric DeCosta. And if you're not drafting the right players, or you're not ignoring the center position, I think might come back to bite him, because now you have to go and wade through who you have now. Not saying that none of them are going to be the starting center and can't be good, but it kind of feels like it's leftovers, if you will, and you still have to go and get more, which Jesse Minter brought up, more center help through free agency to get that down. But it very well could be Ioane. He could be the starting center if they test him there and he does really well. And hopefully that's the case, because they need a center. They don't have a clear-cut starter right now, so that's still a big concern. We brought this up for multiple weeks and months, and it was very shocking that they just completely skipped over the position in the draft. So we'll see.
We've said it. They didn't prepare for this. They didn't prepare for Linderbaum leaving. That was just a complete, had to throw everything out the window and see what happens now. And I don't know that they're fully equipped to deal with him leaving.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it threw a big wrench in the plan of everything, and so now they're kind of playing catch up. But that's, again, another major drawback of why you should have been gone and got like Sam Hecht or Connor Lew or something, because you needed to. Like I said, even a developmental guy, you needed to do that, and they didn't. So we'll see. This will be our last topic of the day, because I know we're running way over, but we have thoughts. And I'll get into this little bit of breaking news, and then we can call it. But basically, controversial, if you will, quarterback Diego Pavia has joined, or will be joining, the Ravens mini rookie camp by an invite from the Ravens. But oddly enough, they have also signed UConn quarterback Joe Fagnano to a 3-year deal. What? What's going on? Now, I'll say this. I don't believe that Diego was brought in with the intention that they're going to sign him. I think they're doing this more as kind of a respect aspect of it. I think they're kind of giving him the chance to show what he can do because of everything that's happened. There's been a lot of character concerns around this guy. He allegedly peed on an opponent's field. I don't know if that's true or not. I just read that. He's very outspoken. A lot of people call him arrogant and cocky. To be fair, he was second in Heisman Trophy voting, so I guess that can kind of come with a little bit of arrogance, if you will. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm just saying. But in terms of like comparing him to Fernando Mendoza, obviously people had a lot to say about him. He doesn't have an agent. He's whatever you think he may be, but it does not matter. He's coming to play with the Ravens for the rookie minicamp to see what he can do.
And now they've signed another.
And then they signed a 3-year deal with the UConn quarterback. Yeah.
Don't like it. Nothing against either one of them. Just don't really, especially with Diego. I was watching his film. I didn't see anything in him that really allows me to see how he would be of benefit to them. But it's really difficult because obviously all we have to go off of is the Harbaugh era and the Todd Monken schemes, and before him, all the guys that were in before him. So it's really hard to just say categorically no, but from history tells us that it's really Tyler Huntley or no one behind Lamar Jackson. That you can't put, like when they had Cooper Rush in for half of last season while Lamar was injured, and everyone was like, where is Tyler Huntley? The second Tyler Huntley came in, the game changed and they won the game. And then they won a couple after with him. It just, for me, I don't understand that. I get it. It's always good to have guys available. It's very potential that Lamar and Tyler Huntley could be injured, but can't we cross that bridge when we come to it? There's no need to be doing this right now. I don't get it personally. I think it's really, really hard to find a backup quarterback for Lamar Jackson, and the best guy is Tyler Huntley, and you got both of them in the building. So there's other positions to be addressing,
Yeah, I mean, again, these are undrafted guys anyway, so I don't think there's necessarily a negative in bringing them in. But
no, not at all. Having them in for the fine, but like signing a guy for a 3-year.
Right. So with that, I think maybe too, to their credit, like Tyler Huntley is the only guy, but maybe they need to find the guy beyond Tyler Huntley because
Sure.
Tyler Huntley's not going to be around forever, and it's not like he's going to want to play backup the rest of his career. Who knows? Maybe he's fine with it, but he could potentially be looking to start somewhere. I don't know. He went elsewhere and it didn't work out, Dolphins. But look, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just a rookie minicamp. I can't talk, but I think, like I said, I think it's a respect aspect. I don't think the intention is to sign him. I think they're just bringing him to be like, look, like of all the things said about you, of everything going on drama wise, you can shake that with us and put yourself in a better position. Because maybe with his attitude improving or whatever it is that people don't like about him through the Ravens, because the Ravens are kind of a no-nonsense organization that if you're going to go anywhere, go to the Ravens. They're going to be like, look, get your crap together, show what you can do. Maybe the UFL comes calling. Maybe that's where you go, and then you show that you can ball out, and then you're brought back into the NFL. Or maybe some other team goes, look, think this kid's got something, and he clearly improved his attitude or whatever, those kinds of negatives within the Ravens organization. Maybe we should bring him in for a more substantial role. That's how I see it going down, but I don't know.
No, for sure with Diego, fine, but this other guy, I would need to have a deeper search into him to kind of solidify my opinion on that. But it's always just like kind of an eye roll thing for me. But like I said, we've only got Harbaugh's era to compare it to because they did lean everything on Lamar's shoulders, and when he went down, there was no point of even bothering playing the games because rarely did they come out on top. So maybe Declan Doyle's scheme fits multiple quarterbacks. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. But yeah, Diego, great, love that for him. you're right. The Ravens are the best place to do it, and behind Lamar Jackson, what better guy to learn from? But it's like it's the breaking news. You didn't prepare me for this. I needed to process it.
No, yeah, like I mean, this is just the Ravens, like just doing their due diligence and checking boxes, right? Like, they got to do their job. They got to find a third quarterback because in this day and age, you just never know, right? As for Pavia, I mean, there's a reason why he went undrafted. I mean, sure, he did great in college and he led Vandy to new heights and first double digit win season and whatnot. But yeah, he just doesn't. I mean, the size is clearly not NFL not NFL style. Just all his mechanics and whatnot. It's just yeah, it's just not there. Sure. I mean, I don't think things could pan out for him in the NFL. Maybe if um, another opportunity arises in another league. I feel like best case scenario, he gets a shot with a team as a third stringer. Adam Schefter did say that other teams might be interested if it doesn't work out in Baltimore. So if that's the case, I mean, sure, there's plenty of other teams out there looking for a quarterback three, and if they feel like Pavia is the right fit, sure. But just in terms to off the field stuff, I feel like he has a lot of maturing to do and whatnot. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, he was at a strip club. Um, I mean, sure, like sure, like players go to strip clubs, right? But I mean, it's all about how you handle yourself and
Right before the draft.
Yeah, I think right now with all
right,
the
right.
I think with all the eyes on you and the fact that you're getting Johnny Manziel comps, maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
He's like half the player that Johnny Manziel is, at least in college, right? Like,
Right. So
so like, yeah, like you just don't have any room to breathe in terms of like your leash is not long. It's like very, it's very, very, very short. So.
yeah, I mean you're under the microscope already, and then to put more stuff, more ammo out there for people to judge you on, it's kind of like okay, you need to look serious. And especially, but that's what I'm saying. Like maybe his opportunity with the Ravens is going to be that, like, hey guys, I'm serious, and he can turn a corner. But yeah, I think this other guy from the Huskies, 3 year deal is probably going to be QB3. He's going to be able to develop without any pressure because there's unless something befalls Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley, you're not going to start anyway. So,
Jason Prez.
yep.
Don't let that happen.
I'm just
Eric
saying.
DeCosta's sweating because he's like, I didn't have time for this.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But anyway, this has been a long episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been Roundtable Ravens episode number 22. We will be back next week to possibly talk about some undrafted free agents. Pavia, I think rookie minicamp does start next week. So maybe we'll have some updates there on what he's doing, how he's doing. Thank you guys so much for listening and bearing with us on this. But this is a draft recap. Thank you.